Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between ArgosZenith and Harrier here on Metalopolis. Excuse me as I adjust my microphone and everything else and make sure that everything is working properly. Gonna go ahead and start up this game. We have ArgosZenith spawning here as the blue Zerg player at the 9 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have Harrier spawning as the red Terran. ArgosZenith saying GG right off the bat, hoping that this will be a good game. Now, ArgosZenith is, I guess he's a friend of mine. I've never actually met the guy, but we've been talking a lot through emails, and he just tries to send me just really off the ball replays, just really exciting games. Also replays from other Zenith clan members as well. We now see Harrier spawned over here as the red Terran player, going to pretty much open up with that standard 10 supply depot in just a moment. Just realized that I need to make sure that I am set to busy so that no one is able to, just message me and start saying hi to YouTube and hi to everyone else. We now see ArgosZenith moving out with this one Overlord here. We'll be able to come into this position and quickly find that he is not spawning in this location. One drone now making its way out and going to just head up this ramp, make sure that there is no liftoff into this location before trying to transfer up into this high ground location here. We do see a low ground supply depot being placed down, followed by a low ground barracks. This is one of those tactics that I've seen a lot of Terran players use recently, especially after the supply depot and racks build. Whenever you have the possibility of a front door run by, you want to make sure that you completely seal off the front door. And now with one barracks here and a supply depot here, you essentially block off any access to this ramp. You don't get the high ground advantage, however, so roaches will be able to come in and start knocking on this door fairly easily. We do see one SCV now trying to come out. Not quite sure what it's doing. Is it going to raise the supply depot in time, just in time as that drone unable to get in that position and now move around. We do see that ArgosZenith did in fact go for what I believe to be a 14 spawning pool, and he should also be getting a 14 hatchery, and should be getting a spawning pool in just a moment as well. We see ArgosZenith also patrolling with one drone here, making sure that no supply depots or bunkers are able to be placed down. We do see that this racks is already completed, but the Marine is currently rallying up the ramp instead of down that ramp. One SCV just trying to make its way around the map. Perhaps it will try to throw down a bunker or place a bunker, but no, it looks like that bunker just going to return home. We do see one drone down to 4 hit points. And that drone, one of the issues for ArgosZenith now is he has no idea what Harrier exactly is going for. He does not know if there's a gas currently in play, and he does not know if there's any factories being built or if it's going to be a mass barrack strategy. So I believe ArgosZenith will play a little bit more defensively in this particular instance. Yeah, not getting an extractor, getting that spawning pool. As soon as the spawning pool is done, he most likely will be trying to get a spine crawler down over here on that low ground, as well as spine crawlers are very strong natural defense. Yeah, now that creep spreading out across the map as ArgosZenith is able to mine off of 16 mineral patches instead of just 8. Taking a look back over here, Harrier also getting a tech lab on his barracks here, and now going for just continuing to train Marines. A little curious as to why he wanted to get that tech lab if all he was going to do is just train Marines. Perhaps he was supply locked and needed to get that, and thought that it would be a good idea there. Excuse me. We do see one SCV coming down to that low ground, and now Harrier already expanding before that 5-minute mark. A very common strategy for Terran players, especially against a fast expanding Zerg. Normally the Zerg player would also like to set up some natural base defense for quite some time. So you see that their army tabs, both sides are fairly small. Harrier sitting at 3 Marines. Meanwhile, ArgosZenith only sitting on 2 Zerglings, and it looks like one Zergling will be trying to hop his way into this location here. There is one Hellion to go ahead and try to greet that Zergling, and now that Hellion on the way in order to move out will perhaps be able to get some additional sight. And now we see one Zergling is going to get toasted here. That one Hellion trying to make sure that it pulls back every so often and then make some distance before it takes some damage once again. We do see that the Hellion now may get repaired by this SCV, and both sides just pretty much doing a standard play so far. Nothing too out of the ordinary. We do see one Overlord now perhaps going to try to suicide its way into the base here in order to get some sight. Harrier now getting the tech lab here and also building the starport. So with this particular build, I think he's going to be trying to get trying to go for Banshees and then maybe perhaps switched around and get a medevac and a reactor later on. We do see that the command center has been completed on the low ground, and now with one bunker with 4 Marines inside, this expansion is fairly well protected. This one Overlord still sitting off over here, trying to make sure that there is no additional gas. I'm not sure what this Overlord was able to gain sight of. Yes, he was able to gain sight of this one refinery, not the second refinery, so he knows that it's not going to be Banshees, and just mainly going to be medevacs with Marines, most likely, perhaps even a Hellion drop. We do see a tech to tier 2 already coming in from ArgosZenith, and ArgosZenith has a very strong economy as he's mining off of 34 harvesters, able to get some additional gas as well, and mining twice the amount of gas than Harrier so far this game. This one Overlord playing a very, very dangerous game. Surprised that this Overlord has not been shot down already. I believe Marines hugging along this edge would have already shot down that Overlord, as Overlords move very, very slowly, especially without that movement speed upgrade. We do see an Overseer cocoon now. I'm going to be hatching over here in just a moment. Overseer cocoons have a movement speed of 1.88, which is the same speed as as a Thor. So now this unit will be able to fly in very quickly and just try to get as much sight as possible. We see that there aren't currently no Vikings in play, so this Overseer will just be able to get a lot of information very easily. And now a Marine trying to shoot down this Overseer. Overseer, however, not going to have any real issue just being able to move around this map and get plenty of information so far. So, however, ArgosZenith needs to be careful with this Overseer. Overseer just sitting right there, finally getting out of range of that one Marine. May be forced to dance back and forth between these two locations, and now in comes a Marine medevac drop. I do not believe that there is any, and now ArgosZenith is able to see this over here, so Zerglings already trying to come in position. Are we going to get a running drop? Yeah, it's going to be a running drop from Harrier, so Harrier now moving, dropping those Marines. We do see that ArgosZenith finally come in, see that there are some Marines here, and now trying to use that move and attack, trying to pull back consistently, and now those Marines are surrounded, so the medevac quickly picking up 3 leftover Marines, and that drop was ineffective, or not very effective at all. We do see the Overseer now coming in over here. It looks like it was contaminating a siege tank, trying to get siege tech, and now this Overseer will get shot down. However, getting plenty of sight information, down to 36 hit points, and may be able to escape. That would be a very, very strong boost, as ArgosZenith now able to move out with the 2.75 movement speed Overseer. So just finishing that movement upgrade in just a second, and now in comes that one Marine once again. Will that Overseer be able to move out down to 17 hit points and now able to just sneak out of there once again? We may have a Viking, no, only medevacs now being trained, and once again this drop not successful at all. Marines already healed back up, but that drop still, this medevac still in the air, unable to do anything, as now ArgosZenith continuing to just spread his creep across the map and take an even stronger economic advantage. We also see Mutalisk currently coming into play, so ArgosZenith with that Spire tech hiding over here in plain sight, now getting a lot of Mutalisk, and will be trying to do a lot of aggression with those Mutalisks. We also see a lot of Zerglings on the ground. So this is just going to be your standard Mutaling so far. We do see 2 Mutalisks now perhaps trying to move out, will be able to deal some damage towards these medevacs. Medevacs only move at 2.5 now. So these, I believe these units move, 50% faster. Marines quickly being dropped and now trying to fight back against these units. Marines trying to fight back. One Mutalisk will get taken down. However, the medevac is taken down as well. And ArgosZenith winning the battle of numbers there. We do see some siege tanks now on the ground. A bunker being salvaged in order to train up more and more units. We also see the pathogen glands and burrow now being researched. So I do know that ArgosZenith really likes infestor play. We'll see if infestors are really going to be in the near future. I'm not quite sure how ArgosZenith will be able to mass Mutalisks and infestors at the same time, as both of those units are very gas intensive. We do see a group of Zerglings still sitting over here by the Zelnaga Watchtower, and a group of Mutalisks sitting here. So we have, 7 Mutalisks trying to do some harassment. We do see a lot of Marines now trying to come in, and those Marines are simply just going to be able to shoot down all of those Mutalisks. Mutalisks finally deciding to back off there, and 3 out of the 7 Mutalisks have been shot out of the sky. We do see one Zergling trying to take down, or a group of Zerglings trying to take down this SCV there, unable to get up that ramp, which was absolutely critical. Once again, the key question is, does Harrier see... Harrier does know that there is creep here, and most likely knows that ArgosZenith does have an expansion. Most definitely knows that now, as he's quickly able to scan this location, and he sees that ArgosZenith is running off of 6 gas. This is the reason why ArgosZenith is currently able to go for such a gas-intensive army, and perhaps Mutalisks, perhaps Infestors, and Banelings with that movement speed upgrade. So this Bio Ball is going to be in a very, very dangerous situation if the acid from those Banelings are able to splash across all of these lightly packed or light armored, tightly packed units. So we have 4 medevacs in the air, and still Harrier only running off of 2 bases. So Harrier really needs to pick up his game a little bit more. Otherwise, he's just going to simply be out expanded by the Zerg player. The Zerg player currently sitting on 74 harvesters. So ArgosZenith sitting on a 300 mineral difference in this fight. We do see one Marauder now trying to come into play. We'll be able to take down that one Zergling there. However, a couple of Mutalisks in the sky will be able to shoot down. Oh, perhaps get that Marauder. No, Marauder able to back off just in time as a group of Marines with level 1 upgrades now able to push out. We do see a Baneling sitting here. So Baneling's currently splashing across this area, and now will these Overlords, oh, doing a scanner sweep, and nicely done. Scanner sweeping that, and now getting a fungal growth, however, and a double fungal growth across all of these Marines, dealing a lot of damage here. And now the Baneling's on a roll, simply going to come into this position here. All these siege tanks, all these Marines simply taken down. Nicely done. And this whole entire aggressive attack force by Harrier has been easily countered by ArgosZenith. And ArgosZenith now simply moving out with this very, very mobile army, moving out with these Mutalisks. Down goes another medevac once again, and the army tab for Harrier down to 1,700 minerals compared to 1,175. However, we do see that Harrier is getting a lot of Marines, double training a lot of Marines off of 2 reactored barracks, has the combat shield, has the stim pack already in line. And now one Baneling perhaps just going to hide over here for just a second. We do see that those Banelings have an additional movement speed of 2.95. As this Baneling now going to hide over here for just a moment, and now a couple of Zerglings are going to try to come into position. So those Zerglings may be able to get out surround off. No surround off, and that siege tank was almost able to blast away at this one Baneling here. And I will be curious to see if ArgosZenith does try to do any burrow tactics against these or against this unit over here. However, we now have Mutalisks coming straight into this position, trying to take down the reactor. Reactor will get taken down very, very quickly. In addition to this missile turret, so the missile turret now taken down, and there's nothing really in play that Harrier can train up or use in order to try to defend this location. Double missile turrets now being placed down in order to better deal with those units. We do see Zerglings quickly trying to take down this orbital command. Orbital command now down to 1,280 hit points and deciding to pull back here. We see a lot of medevacs in the air, Marine and Marauder on the ground, with a fair number of siege tanks as well. Sensor tower doing its job, however, unable to detect all this happening over here to the north, as it's just beyond the range. And we have a lot of Mutalisks once again trying to come into position, trying to finish off more of these Marines, more of those tech buildings, and taking down the reactor and slowing down that Marine production. We do see 4 missile turrets now coming in by Harrier. So Harrier with now 4 missile turrets, even if he got that +1 range upgrade, these missile turrets would have indeed have a very, very bad day. And now out comes a Thor, and that Thor unable to get a round of javelin missiles off. Will it be able to? Trying to get more and more attacks there. Mutalisks in the sky trying to shoot down more of these. We do see 1 missile turret already completed. However, that missile turret will get shot down. Another missile turret will get shot down. However, there are 2 additional missile turrets here, and ArgosZenith taking a lot of damage and losing a lot of those units. So losing so many of those units in that fight, as props another Thor will be trained up in just a moment, as more missile turrets also being laid down as well. We see that Harrier also trying to take this high yield gold mineral location, and now Harrier in a very, very strong situation. You will see that his income is simply going to jump through the roof in just a moment here, as he's able to mine off of 6 gold mineral patches with these mules. It's almost a 3,000 mineral a minute compared to ArgosZenith is 2,200, and ArgosZenith is not even mining out of this location yet. So you can see ArgosZenith continuing to just place down a lot of hatcheries, and he's going to have a very, very strong macro in just a second. Marines now being dropped off over here in the cover of the vents, and now Marines will simply be able to come in, stim, and take down this hatchery. We do see some Zerglings and Mutalisks lying in wait, ready to receive these Marines. Marines now taking a lot of damage. In come the Mutalisks, and maybe able to shoot down this medevac. Medevac is nearly full, or is completely full, down to 6 hit points, and down it goes. So a completely full medevac getting taken down out of the sky by these Mutalisks, and that was a very, very important swing for ArgosZenith. So ArgosZenith getting a little bit of an advantage there. You can see now Harrier only having a 200 mineral army advantage in terms of size. We do see Harrier now continuing to just train up more and more SCVs over here, and perhaps we'll be calling in some mules in just a second. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between ArgosZenith and Harrier here on Metalopolis.